think I'm on the right profile? We'll find out. What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is Wednesday yet again. Yeah. I know you weren't planning on it, but here it is no matter. We're going to try to make it a little easier, a little smoother, a little more entertaining for you this afternoon, this morning, this evening, wherever you may be. How's everybody doing? It's middle of the week. It's the first of, second day of October. The countdown to eating... What do people eat? Turkeys, right?
Yeah. Countdown. Yeah. The holiday season is coming. Yay!
We feast upon the carcasses of... Turkey just doesn't seem like a very good bird, like, to eat. I've, looked into...
I don't care for it much.
all the difficulties of, well, you gotta prepare it just so. Why? Or it won't be good. Why don't you get something, easier to... pizza. It's hard to mess with pizza. Right, let me get...
Yeah, I'm not a big turkey fan. I like all the accoutrements and the stuffing and the mashed potatoes and all that. That's my favorite part of Thanksgiving.
I think the only time I've participated, I went to because a dude I knew bought a fryer to fry a turkey, and I went to witness this. Apparently it turned out good, but there wasn't much to it. You just dip it and come back and you pull it out of the oil. You're bam, you got turkey. All right, everybody. What do we got today? Vanilla OS. I got questions about that. Jill's going to hold up her pink laptop and hopefully not drop it. But, you know,
yes.
Dropping is always in play when you're holding a laptop up to a camera. I'm going to tell you about an interface that I found very interesting and finally something to replace the Raspberry Pi 4, at least according to me. So I'm sure no one will disagree.
Yeah, it's pretty nice.
I would,
Hi, Mir!
3.5.
Oh, that's cute, Mir.
Yeah, you were saying it was raining, right?
Yeah.
It's that weird time of the year right now. It's roll your own temperature. It could be 12 or it could be 20.
Oh, okay.
It's closer to 20, and it's really rough because you get accustomed, oh, man, open the windows up, everything's a little chilly, pop on a sweater, and it's nope, back in shorts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've seen a lot of rain. It rained all night. And It's been raining sporadically, but it's a very light rain, but it's nice. It was nice to fall asleep to.
Do you ever get
the sun's coming out now?
Thunder and lightning? Is that
not this time? Our last storm we did. It was a much stronger storm.
Okay. Rattle the window frames.
Yeah, I like that. I like the sound of thunder rolling in.
Mm.
We get that pretty good because we're by the ocean and it travels over the ocean. It's pretty amazing.
I like a good thunderstorm. I like lightning.
Yeah, I like lightning. I just want to be in the house when it's going off because I don't want to get hit by it.
I mean, the storm's got to get pretty bad. Probably, I'm saying maybe twice a year I'll get a storm bad enough to power everything down. And when I mean power everything down, I mean even cut off the UPSs and just unplug it. I'm man.
It happens here maybe every few years. We get one that strong and I turn everything off.
I don't think we're going to be getting any rain for a little while. You know what? I don't know. I'm almost at the age where I don't want snow.
Oh, yeah.
Almost.
That's why my family all moved to California. My parents and grandparents, they didn't want to shovel snow or ice anymore.
Well, snow's a novelty here. We might get it every couple of years, and it's
you guys don't get it that often. Yeah.
Sometimes you'll get 2 days. Oh, no. It's just hey, snow.
Yeah.
And that's it. You get to visit it. You don't live in it. I wouldn't want to live in it.
It's not like in Michigan or the Midwest.
No.
Yeah, that's where
snow tires or anything like that.
Steve's family was from Michigan, Lake Michigan. It's one of the coldest areas in the world, actually, there. And they decided, nope, They want to stay in California and work on small cars instead of big ones.
We got that. And I need to check my storage space before I get crazy with this. What do I got? 400 gigs? We can squeeze an episode into 400 gigs. Don't need it. These shows are short. They're only about 180, 210 gigs.
Oh, okay.
Which is tiny.
Yeah.
Comparatively. I have definitely finished, like, especially if I record any of the after shows, and we'll end up like, there was one time, I kid you not, we got done with the Linux Gamecast Weekly, and we'd recorded the after shows, and for some game we were playing, 980 some gigs.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Which gets a little more dangerous considering the drive was only 1 terabyte.
Yeah, I know the feeling. In the 90s, it was like a gig a second. And that was in the 90s for broadcast quality that I had to make all my animations and submit. So we had to submit in target sequences because we didn't have storage that big. I mean, it was, and it would be over like 10 DVDs. And we'd send them off, or hard drives. Oh, it's horrible. That was horrible. I was sending off external SCSI drives.
So you were rendering out to like broadcast?
Yeah.
So that was pretty low resolution, wasn't it?
Yeah.
What was a standard NTSC broadcast?
720 by 486.
486?
Yeah.
Interlaced? Non-interlaced?
Transitioned from both interlaced to non-interlaced. But we always had to have that 6-line of border for framing things. So even though NTSC broadcasted it mostly used 720 by 480, we had to have that 486 for the overscan kind of thing.
Mm.
Yeah, that was the thing. All my target sequences had to be. We had to have borders with what they kind of call now safe frames. It was interesting.
Things have changed a bit.
Oh yeah. And then in early 2000, I did a 16K animation for projections for Qualcomm. We did 16K resolution with the 2000 computing technology. Insane. Ugh.
What were they using? What were they displaying that at, or what was the use case for it? Did they just want to
projection on big buildings?
What were they using to project it, though?
I actually wasn't at the place, but that was the resolution that they required for their projection system. They were using multiple camera systems.
That's what I was curious about.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly. It's too long ago. I could probably find out the information, though, because I do have it.
So that's
how long ago? Yeah, I'm over 20 years ago. We did do Omnimax. We did do an Omnimax. Oh, it's insane.
All right. So I have this together. We got about, let's see, about 5 minutes.
Okay.
Get ready to go.
I will be right back.
All right.
Yeah, Omnimax. I don't remember how many. I think one of the projects I did, we had 16 cameras. It's insane. That was one of the hardest projects we'd ever done.
What was the Omnimax? Was it like the, what?
It's like IMAX, but more cameras, more immersive. There's a couple Omnimax theaters in the world. There's 2 of them. One's here in San Diego. And it's much higher end than IMAX is, but it costs much more. It's much more expensive. So IMAX became the standard, not Omnimax.
Yeah, IMAX has been out.
Yeah.
Jeez, forever.
Well, Omnimax is the predecessor, and it's far superior. I've seen both films, and the Omnimax, there's no comparison. Because at Omnimax, the filming is more 360 on it.
This is another case of the superior technology not becoming the used one.
Exactly, because it was too expensive to produce the films.
Yeah, I've been to a couple of like IMAX. I went to a real IMAX theater, and I went to like that little crap, technically IMAX theater. I mean, it's all right, but it's not worth the extra money for me. I'm like,
yeah,
it's like that's neat, but then again, I'm not a person that goes to the theater a lot. And I'm like,
yeah.
In these modern days, you can have a better experience sitting on your couch.
Yeah. Well, Omnimax is the half sphere, and you sit in a sphere and lay down and watch the movie because it's almost, it's 180.
So it sounds like you're going to be watching a bunch of nature documentaries.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was like one of the things we used to always watch. First HD TVs, we'd go to the Discovery Channel and just leave it on. We're like, oh, look at that. That looks so, it's like looking out of a window as we're looking like a 720p image. We're like, it's so real. And again, times have changed.
Yeah. I'll be right back.
All right. We will get that together. And I think the PlayStation VR thing came out today. Let me take a look. PlayStation VR news. Yeah, it did. Do I even have that loaded? Hey, I'm glad I checked that. Look at that. It's somewhere in here, isn't it? There it is. Pop. All right. Sony confirms the release date and price for the next PlayStation VR headset. $550. Mountain bundle 600 and PlayStation VR 2. That looks a lot like a Vive, doesn't it? Yeah, okay. What? So I guess you're gonna get Horizon Ginger Turbo? What is this? Oh, that's a charging station. I guess it's got like inductive charging. All right. That's kind of neat, actually. It's wireless. What's the resolution on this thing, though? Come on, we only got to get it in the metaverse, right? Like, do we not have specs? Here we go. 4000 by 2040 HDR, 2000 by 2040 per eye. OLED 90 to 120. Ah, right. It can shake your head too. Neat built-in microphone. It's got the controllers, they're Bluetooth, and built-in lithium, so... Well, I mean, it's Sony, right? Sony doesn't do replaceable batteries. But allegedly replacing the batteries in a dual whatever shock sense thing, pretty easy. There's like the, little LiPo cells. Click them in, click them out. Well, I mean, they got like a JST connector on them, but outside of that, I don't know where I'm at with that. What are our thoughts on like the built-in batteries? I like the engineering sleekness of the PlayStation 4. You got to admit that it's just a sleeker design. It doesn't weigh as much, but I like knowing that I can just pop the AA's out of the Xbone controller. Like this thing, you're just hosed unless you have a cable to plug it into. I don't know. Oh, did the time change? Is it that wonderful time of the year where we're, like for 1 week or 2 weeks, we're 1 hour out of sync? I don't know when the time changes here. We used to have to keep track of that, right? November 6th. Sunday. It's that time of the year. Gather around, children. There used to be, back in the dark ages, before everything automatically switched, we had to manually keep track of things like that. You had to go around the house and change all the clocks. To change the clocks in your car. And you never changed the one on your VCR because you never bothered to set it, except for that one guy you knew, and you're like, why'd you even bother to do that? PCs were amazing moon devices because they got to where your computer would automatically change time. You're like, oh, live it in the future. But now you don't even think about it. It doesn't even cross your mind. You're not even aware that the time has changed until you go to watch Weekly Daily Wednesdays, and you're like, hey, what's going on? Oh, right, time changed. Like, you get reminded of it. Sometimes days later. Or if you're like me, usually like on day 3, I'm like, hey, who cut out the lights? At like 6 p.m., you go look outside, and it's pitch black, and you're like, let me go investigate. So, time has changed, Jill.
What happened?
It has turned into, Europe's,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
So this Saturday
fall back.
Will
it's
be
fall back, so they get an hour.
An episode of Linux Gamecast Weekly with Pedro. It'll be the one time a year where he gains an hour.
Yeah, exactly. Hi, Justin. Oh, hi, Brother Jelly Bean.
Hello, Bean.
Oh, hi, Jack. How you doing? Yay. I'm glad you're here.
But I was talking about having to go around the house back in the days, in the dark ages, and reset all the clocks.
Yeah.
I have one clock in this house. Like wall clock.
That's same here. Yeah, we just have one to change.
Batteries I don't change it. Battery stand, it's decoration. It's ornamental. I'm like, hey, look at that clock. Doesn't that look nice? No one looks at it for time. It is,
There's Artherin.
I do like living in this future, though, where we don't worry about things like having to reset clocks.
Oh, yeah, Artherin. That's why you weren't there, right, when we started. Of course, yeah. Time change. Yeah, ours changes next week.
On the 6th, I had to look it up. I had no idea. I knew it's usually like within a week.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's this Sunday.
Get that extra hour. It's nice. Spring forward, fall back.
Let's just get rid of time zones. Let's just use GMT. I have a lot of faith in the human race. We can all like sync up with the GMT. You know, let's see what is time GMT right now. 7 p.m. So it's 7:19. We start the show at 7 p.m. That's great. My brain can handle that. Like, hey, we start at 7 p.m. Oh, what if I'm in Australia? Still 7 p.m. Now, granted, like 7 p.m. might be 3 in the morning traditionally, but that's the new 7 p.m.
Yeah, that's what would be. It would be really hard.
I mean, it works both ways, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So, let me see if we have all of our shots lined up. And that's good. That's good. I got this guy. It's pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, I have a new mic mount. Yay!
It's a Heil.
Nice. We like Heils.
It's like my budget. It's a cheaper, inferior version of what I have. My Electro Voice.
Oh, okay.
Big.
I see.
Rack, but the problem with that is that thing it's built for a studio. Like when they designed that, they never had they were not thinking, hey, there might be a camera on this person. So it just completely blocks your face. I have the Electro Voice 106, which is like with a big chunky studio mount, and it's excellent. You can smack it and you cannot hear anything, but it's only built for Electro Voice microphones. RE20, RE27 ND like this one. This one was designed for the Heil PR40s.
I like this because I could see you better.
That's why I got it.
Yeah.
And it's easier for me to like see things, right?
Yeah, exactly. That
And
I was happy, Vin, when you said I could get just the mic muff instead of the
well, it's a balancing act.
because it was hard for me to see around. I liked it. I didn't mind using it. It just was hard to see.
It can be very difficult to see. I mean, depending on how you want to do it. I mean, now we could always do it like this, Jill. I mean, I don't see what the difference is. I mean,
Yeah.
put the camera over there and just talk like this, and it sounds just the same. I mean, it's great.
Nah.
No, it's fine. It's wonderful. What are you talking about? This is perfect.
Sound like you're in a tunnel.
So, I don't know. We get lav mics. I hate using lav mics though. What it boils down to is the balancing act I was talking about. 99% of the people listen to these shows, so my focus has always been the audio. But I know we got like the diehards, people that are showing up. They're like, dance for me on Wednesdays and Saturdays when we do live streams. Like, I want to see you. I'm like, hey, I want to make sure that works too. But we want to have that balance.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, back to this little guy. Turns out that they weren't dumb. Heil was smart enough to the RE27ND. This is not perfect. Like my previous mount, this got like a little notch on it, a little nipple that sticks out on the base of the microphone that you can slide it in. You got to turn it clockwise and it locks into that mount.
Keep it,
It's like super secure, right? I had that, which I still got the mount for the RE27, that shock mount. I had that thing for like 3 months before I was watching somebody else, and he turned it. I'm like, wait, what? You can turn it to like lock it? Because, I just slid it in. I'm like, oh, that's good.
Oh, okay. You didn't know it. It was
no idea. And I was like, I got up, came in here. I was like, all right. I mean, but this has got a notch in it, so you can fit I'm going to say intentionally. They wanted to make sure. And these things are, the only thing I was worried about is like the weight, because these microphones are much bigger than a PR40. Mm-hmm. But it's holding it. And that's all right. This one was ruined, Jill. I got this one used.
Oh, okay. So does it have a little bit of like tarnishing on it or something?
Oh no, this is the color scheme is champagne.
Oh, because I was gonna say it looks reddish. I could tell it kind of looked reddish.
And it kind of matches the microphone.
Yeah.
But apparently Heil had a problem producing these because, the little tightening nut down here. On the side that's facing me, about a fraction of a millimeter, there's a little ding out of that, just like right on the edge. Like if you hold it in the light just right, you can kind of see it if you get close to it. And the person who was selling, I bought this on, I think Reverb, not eBay or Reverb, was getting rid of it because it was flawed. It's unusable with that little notch.
Oh,
the little chip
well, you made it usable.
It couldn't be used. And this was the third one that he had sent back.
Oh, okay.
Because they weren't perfect.
They weren't perfect. Yeah. Yeah, when you're spending that kind of money.
They're only $99.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I could understand if there's like $300-$400.
That's what I was thinking, like $300.
They're like $129 new. But it's like when I was like, wait, where is it again? It's one of those things, right? It's like that dead pixel in the middle of your monitor that you never see. Like,
yeah,
it's there, but again, it's cosmetic. Who sees it? Who cares?
It was for your benefit.
I just bought it from him, and I was just laughing because he had 2 paragraphs explaining about his really upset with the Heil build quality and all like that. And I'm like, really? All right, fine, I'll take it. Death Stranding is one game I've never been able to get into.
Yeah,
oh man, a dead pixel on a Steam Deck. Yeah, I guess you would notice it on a Steam Deck, because you got that like right in your mug.
Oh yeah, Jack, you got it back though, I think, already. I know a couple people who had dead pixels on their Steam Deck.
Not dead pixels. like other thing. One was like I dropped it, which that's the right way to go about it.
Yeah, like, 4 days, he said. That's really good. Mm-hmm. They're here on the West Coast, so that does help.
Basically flawless. Yeah.
Nice.
See, the best way to keep it safe is never go anywhere with it because it's a Steam Deck. No, you got to appreciate people that take them out and about.
Yeah.
Like on bus rides to get your passport done, Strider?
Uh-huh.
See if he forgot today.
He'll be on the plane, too, with it.
Office and parents. Yeah, they're great for stuff like just if you know you're going to be out and about, for a prolonged period.
Yeah. Might as well take it. That's what it's for.
Hollow Knight, man. I had to break that addiction like twice. I got back into Hollow Knight a couple of months ago.
Oh, yeah. That's been one of my brother's favorite. He just said that.
Yeah, that's what got me into that line is, just with all the updates, I was watching some of the speed runs and I'm like, yeah, let me go because it's really a completely different game than the game that I initially beat when like Team Cherry sent us like those review copies, like because we played it before it was officially released. And, I went through the game like 58 hours in it. And I'm watching some of these speedrunners go through it. And I'm like, there's new sections and areas that just didn't exist in the game that they've added on over the years. And I got about 20, 25 hours back into it. And I'm like, nope, uninstall this thing. Uninstall it. Just get rid of it.
Yeah.
Don't have time for it. Your deck is more powerful than eating a laptop. So, well, I mean...
It's optimized. That's for sure. It's a wonderful... computer, and even Linux GNU now is using it as his only PC. I know a few people who are Linux GNU, but you were the first, I think, to take that plunge. One of the first.
I will continue my time-honored tradition of using the tablet as my only PC. I live in my DS9 future.
Yes, you do. You live in the pad future.
I do.
Pad. Star Trek pad.
And those pads, my pad's like thinner and lighter.
Yeah.
It's got a bigger screen. I'm like, yeah, I'm good with this. I'm living in the future. Have fun. Go play with your big clamshell laptop things. Primitives. 65. All right.
Yeah, that works that would work great on your TV, Jack.
I retweeted a thing with Ricardo in it.
Yeah, it's so nice just having, my Steam Deck right now. Whenever I'm streaming, I always have it here so I can grab it when I need to. But mostly it's now living in the living room because it's just nice to sit on the couch and play.
There's Ricardo and Q making pizza. Because holograms are in fact like pizza. Yeah. Well, I mean,
nice.
Like to some extent, I mean, it's fascinating to see what people are doing with the decks, but it does boil down to like, it's just a computer, right? Which to Steam's credit, like, yeah, it's just a computer. It's unlocked. You don't have to mess around. I mean, you can mess around. They encourage you to mess around with it, which is like, excellent.
Yeah, true.
All right. So I got benches, tracks, facts, and 0. Also, I'm going to bring this up right at the beginning of the show, but just in case I think we disconnect or anything before then, we're about to get started.
Okay.
This is a Danger Mouse right now. I'm still waiting for my replacement because it's got the micro switch, left click. It's doing the no click, double click, triple click game right now.
Yeah, I know you've been waiting for a new mouse.
And one of the things about like having one particular mouse that you use that shows up from Japan with only in Japanese and no English on the package whatsoever. It takes a minute to get a hold of one.
Yeah.
So, if something is squirrely, it doesn't matter what it is. If I cough too hard, I'm going to blame it on this mouse for this episode.
Okay.
Right?
Sounds good, Ben.
That was a I'm just letting everybody know.
Yeah.
In case, because I've had like some weird double.
Yeah.
I think
I
everyone's
remember a couple
experienced,
weeks ago.
like
Yeah.
you run into it when it first shows up. It's like you're trying to highlight a word. You're like, what? And it takes a minute, and sometimes you'll find out like copy and pasting, especially in a document, when you'll move a letter from the back to the front. Like, I didn't even know you could do that. I couldn't do that if I tried. How did that happen?
Yeah. That's like with my laptops. I always turn off the touchpad because I use a mouse with all my laptops. And the touchpad,
Fortunately, like modern laptops, like palm rejection has
it's gotten better.
Extremely good.
Yeah.
I still don't trust it.
Yeah, so that's why I turn mine off.
The fact that you got like multi-fingered like scrolling. Once you get that stuff set up, I'll admit that's amazing.
Yeah, but it is nice having that.
I agree with you, Arthur, and it would be nice if everybody, and these things are nigh impossible to repair. Typically, I don't have a problem popping a board out, heading over to Mauser, or I got a little bag of micro switches. I'll make one fit, but the way this thing's designed, because it's on the side, this thing, I've seen three things more poorly designed for repairability than this. This is my this is my second one. This one's going to be my third one. Okay. I tried to disassemble, because you had a test subject once you have a replacement, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Once you got the old one, I'm like, well, what am I going to do? More break you? No. And I went into it, and I'm like, no, because the plastic's molded. It's plus these things are like $60. It's not worth my time and energy. But yes, everybody should make like just a module for your micro switches, because that's the one part of every mouse that is going to wear out. Period. Mm-hmm. Unless you're like some of these weird freaks who are like, yes, this is my Microsoft IntelliMouse from 1995, and it still works.
I still have that. I still have one of those.
And I'm like,
I used to love the Mouse Man.
Never used it.
The Logitech Mouse Man was my favorite to do artwork with. I've got a couple of those because they had those were the ones that were like really, the mouse was shaped like your hand, and there were 3 buttons, and it was so comfortable. It fit my hand perfectly. I love that mouse. No scroll, of course, because that was pre-scroll, but...
What did we get scroll? Like 1995?
Yeah,
96,
around there.
Somewhere in there. Because I remember having to set that up in x386.conf. To do little XY coordinates. Was like, oh, that's so neat.
Oh, yeah.
And what did I think I had like a Kensington? Does that sound right?
Kensington. Yeah.
When I was doing CAD work in Eagle. Let me see.
Yeah, speaking of which, my brother has given me a lot of my mice in my collection, because he had given me literally a big box full of mice from his work, and all different brands, and I went through them all and cleaned them all, and some of them are quite collectible now. But there were a couple Logitech Mouse Mans in there, and a few Kensingtons, some IntelliMouses. Mostly Serial and PS2. Yeah.
I don't know. I would guess I need to find something else, but yeah, I got this thing wired. I did a video on like how I got this thing set up to turn into like a 3-dimensional mouse scroll with a scroll bar when you hold down the 3rd button, and some other neat tricks that I've got built into it.
Yeah.
So it's one of those devices, right? You're like, it works just like I want it. And
it's perfect. Yeah. Yeah, so true, Don M, like the one right there. That one actually, that has a graphic equalizer on it and a 5 1/4 bay. It's sweet. It's got a nice sound system in it.
All right, let me grab something to drink, and I think we'll get underway. Speaking of mouse, where are you at? Mouse, where's the cursor? Did this thing fall asleep because I picked it up? It did. Lovely.
Yeah. Okay.
That's another problem I have with this thing is it operates on 2.4 gigahertz.
Mm-hmm.
Which is great if you need to use, from the other side of the house. But it also interferes with the RGB lighting system. And I can have my RGBs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, I'll be back and we'll get underway.
Okay. Aw. Oh, Arthurian, see, this is my mug today. It's an emoji mug I got at Dollar Tree a couple years ago. It's been a while since I've shown these. I've got a couple of them. But I like this one because it has the poop emoji on it. And it's got a flamingo. It's an e-mug, exactly. I had never, seen ones that's colorful and beautiful until I found these at the Dollar Tree, and I picked out every design they had. They're really, really cool. Nice. Pretty good for $1. So I have, how many designs? I've got like 6 of them. My favorite ones. My brother liked it too. Yeah. So Donnan came in. Oh, and Gamatron is in too. And Fellow Stan. We got a good group here today. My brother's here. Yeah, Linux Ganura, when I saw that, it made me so happy. This mug, and it's only $1. Oh my god. So I didn't buy the whole collection because there were some designs I didn't care for, but I got the ones I liked.
Speaking of designs, I'm really sad. I got a very weak, ugly Christmas sweater game this year.
Ah.
I haven't found it yet. I've found one that I like.
Okay.
It's in my cart.
Nice.
I gotta buy it. But I was hoping to get like 2 or 3 nice ugly Christmas sweaters for the end of 2022, which is not to be. Not to be. There was okay. Here's the thing with it. Ugly Christmas sweaters. They're designed to be worn once, to a costume party.
Yeah.
Which, that's fine. But it also means I'm not paying $40 for it.
Yeah, yeah, I know. And that's, they're expensive now
thing.
Because, it's a gag gift and they know they can make money on them.
Well, they can not make money on me because I'm not going to order. I'm not paying $40 for an ugly Christmas sweater. I'll spend like 30 maybe if it's really funny. But, I know the qualities. They're like this guy, or a vampiric llama that Frank wears.
Yeah, that Frank wears. Yeah.
That thing would probably survive 1 wash, maybe, and I wouldn't put it on. Okay.
Frank wears an ugly sweater year round.
He's fabulous like that.
Yes.
Well, Arthur, and I'm always, that's how I roll. I like wearing weird stuff.
Now I don't care for sweaters, but I do have a ugly sweatshirt, a Star Trek one, and it's soft and comfy. I've actually worn that before at Christmas time here.
Sweatshirts?
On LWW. Yeah.
I mean, I got some
the fleece
running,
ones.
but I don't have any. I like sweaters, but like's a strong word. Sweaters are just one of those things you're like, I don't feel like wearing a coat. Put on a sweater. I'm like,
oh, okay. I don't like sweaters because I can't. You have to wear. For me, I have to wear a shirt under them because they're too scratchy, and I'm allergic to wool. So the ones that are wool, I can't wear, and the ones that are synthetic wool are just too scratchy. Although there's some new materials now that are much softer, but yeah, I don't want to layer. So I don't like to layer. I don't really need to much here in SoCal. So I just put a sweatshirt or a hoodie on.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. We need to talk about, did I get that loaded up? Right, I did. All right, Good.
Yeah, alpaca sweaters.
Okay, everybody. Last minute things. Let's get everything ordered. Oh, it's going to be a danger drag for real this time. Let's see. Come on, micro switch. I want you to make that tab all the way from the right to the left. Let's go. Team effort. You can do it. Okay. Whew. Let's do a show. Let's record.
Sounds good.
Let's record. Okay. I need to set up a hot button for OBS on the Stream Deck to start recording and bury it somewhere where it's real hard to get to.
Oh, okay.
So I don't accidentally tap it. Because I've done that. I've set up like record and stream and all that. Problem is those buttons are right next to each other.
Mm-hmm. So true. Yeah. Yeah, it would be nice if you could customize it. Customize there we go. Customizing the OBS interface. That's
I don't use
you can kind of. Yeah.
I don't use the interface. I use the Stream
your
Deck.
Android.
No, I use the Stream Deck.
Oh, you got your Stream Deck, yeah.
I got the Stream Deck plugged into the Raspberry Pi, which runs the BitFocus companion that gives me like multi-page displays.
Okay.
And on different screens. The problem is here's the problem, Stream Deck. Right before we get going, you need to make one with like 3 more buttons.
Yeah, I know. They're just a little too small. I've been wanting to get one, but it's like, there's not quite enough for all the applications I need open.
Well, you just switch pages.
Yeah, that's true.
When you have a BitFocus companion, you can have like 99 pages. But the problem is I need a lot of buttons for each scene, right?
Yeah.
So what I need is
you
like
have a lot of scenes.
3 different buttons, maybe like 6 more. But the problem is they have this one, which is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 buttons. And the next one's like 300 buttons, which is like way too big. I don't need that much. I need one like somewhere in the nice, like gooey middle. They don't make it. But they do make a Stream Deck that I think has like 4 buttons on it, which is laughable.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess if you just need a couple of buttons, I'd just use a number pad. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, episode 350.
Mm-hmm.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Linux Weekly, daily Wednesdays where we sit back, relax, take that midweek break, talk about some of the fun things going on in the world of Linux and open source. I am Vin Stone, and that is Jill Bryant, and this is a wonderful episode, 350. That's right, it is the sea monster of Linux Weekly. Daily
yeah,
Wednesdays.
Sure is.
That's right. It's what I realized that Linux podcast was about 20 stories tall with glowing red eyes, and I said, dang it. 350. You gave me $1. Hey Jill, what's new?
Hi.
You got anything fun going on?
Yeah, actually, so something exciting happened last Wednesday. So after last Wednesday's fun LWW, System 76 tweeted this and honored me with their very first hashtag Woman Wednesday. And so, yeah, the tweet says, using hashtag Woman Wednesday to highlight women in Linux at Jill Linux Girl is core organizer for Linux Chicks Los Angeles, co-host on the LWW Weekly Podcast, woohoo! Host of Destination Linux Podcast, community organizer at Linux Gamecast. Learn more about Jill and her Linux pursuits. And then they got a nice quote from me on the image. And actually, you know what? I should read it because I was pretty proud of this quote.
I was going to send up some quotes from Trackmania.
Oh, no, Ben. Don't do that.
Why? I mean, I haven't.
Don't do that. I haven't cussed, but no, I get upset a few times, but not cussed. So I stated on this honor that on the image, it's a picture of me with the System 76 logo. And I stated, the open source community is not a zero-sum game. So ask questions and freely share your knowledge because in Linux, all ships rise with the tide. And remember to keep those penguins marching. So yeah, that was a really exciting surprise. And I want to thank System 76 and the CEO of System 76, Carl Rochelle, and Emma and Cheese Bacon and the gang. And of course, thank you to Vin, Jordan, and Pedro, and all our patrons for choosing me to be a host on LWW more than 4.5 years ago, Vin. Can you believe that?
Don't go blaming us for this. It's not our fault.
Aw, I'm blaming you, Vin.
Tried to throw us under the bus, man.
Aww.
That's right, System 76. I'm going to send you some fun quotes, man.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm happy for you, Jill.
Yeah, that was a nice surprise.
I got a couple of things I've been playing around with. I got this. I posted this on the Twitter thing. This is StarTech. What is this? This is the newest, hottest technology. Not even if it. This is Firewire card. This is what this is. This is a kind of a special one that I want to do some A/B testing because I typically use a Sibia Firewire card, and modern PCI Express chipsets, they just don't have any support for Firewire, rightfully so. And typically what you'll have on the card is a PCI Express bridge chip. This one doesn't. So I wanted to A/B test that. And main reason I got it so I could go back, because I have, I've updated Jackbox and it's, modernish system, AM, whatever, 5600G, B550 chipsets and all that. Right. And I redid all of our benchmarks. I've been dying to do this just to get it done. So if you don't know, on linuxteamcast.com, we have a Linux compatible audio interface thing, and not just Firewire stuff. This is PCI Express, all this. I let you know. And then here's one thing I hate. This is what started me doing this. Somebody's like, hey, does this work under Linux? Guaranteed the first reply is like, well, I don't own one, but I'm like, get out of here. Get out of here. You're not helping. You're just adding to the confusion. Somebody's asking like a question. We don't need your, that's why I started doing this. What's busted? What works? But round trip latency. That's how you benchmark an audio interface. That lets you know how fast it is. That is your speed metric. And I try to explain to people what it is, and I use Jack Iodally. Lower is better. And I do that with the USB round trip latency, Firewire round trip latency, and of course, PCI Express round trip latency. And I give you the testing setup and everything because it's reproducible. And I like a reproducible build, Joe Brian. I think that's always a good thing. Not made up numbers, actual data bits that you can take and go, which one would be best for real-time monitoring? What are the features? Nice. How does it work? And fun times. And you can be like the person who asked me a question yesterday. He was a very polite Windows 10 user. And, you always gotta you worry a little bit. I got a question on the Apogee 1 USB.
Oh, okay.
Audio interface, and Pedro bought one too. And if you remember, that was a kind of fun one because Apogee never released Windows drivers for it. And Linux going to Linux, right? So we just reverse engineered it, and it turns out that it only works on Linux these days because it doesn't work on the new Macs. Ironically enough. And somebody wrote back, it's like, hey man, I used to have a Mac and now I got a Windows box and I still have my Apogee. Can I use it with Windows 10? And I wrote back, I wasn't rude. Always try to be, just straightforward. I'm like, hey man, unfortunately, these do not work on anything but old Macs and new Linux boxes. I'm like, I hit reply. I'm like, I'm going to reply. This is like, you Linux people are all No.
No.
That's what I was expecting. I'm like, you do you, man. And I was like, thanks for taking the time and all that. That's really nice. Cool. And I'm like, nice. Look at that civil conversation.
Awesome.
Yeah. Helping people out. Speaking of helping people out, 44 weeks in, Jill. 44 weeks of playing Trackmania.
Yes, I cannot believe it. It's been so fun, and I'm so happy I've been improving. I would think so after 44 weeks, right?
Right? So like with most things I end up doing as just like, here's the thing I'm going to start doing if anyone wants to come hang out. You're welcome to. It ends up turning into a thing. So 44 weeks later, I finally set up on our website.
Nice.
So if you go under home, we have the Filthy Casuals Trackmania server information. Also, I might have gotten slightly tired of answering this question over and over and over again. So this tells you, hey, if you like physics puzzles with wheels, come hang out with us. We do it every Tuesday and Friday. It's got a link to the game where you can buy it. Tells you how to get into the server. If you're a Twitch sub or a patron, got instructions, hyperlinks. It's got a schedule. On Tuesdays, we do the new maps and practice and time attack. We all get together and we hang out, talk about movies and whatnot while we're going around 14 new maps each and every week. Fridays, we do a points match. So we all start at the same time, try to race to the very end of the match, and we collect points. Person with the most points, the top 3, they get free games. And of course, Saturday through Monday, the server is open with all the previous maps, over 200 maps. Got instructions. How do you find the server? You just type Linux in. We're the only one. That's how it works. We got our own private server that's set up with sweet, sweet bumping music, despite what other people might say. Joe likes it. Yeah.
It's a nice tutorial too,
how to get
Ben.
in
that looks nice.
And password. These are all the common questions. And if you have any questions, just drop into our Trackmanias and channel on Discord. But that is there. Now I can just like, hey,
sweet.
Go here. What else do we have? Oh, right. I talked about danger clicks. If anything happens during the show, it's because of the left micro switch on my Alcom Huge has decided to get a little spasticky. I'm waiting for a new one in the mail, which is always fun. As I was explaining in the pre-show, like these come from Japan. Like there's no English or anything. It's just all Japanese, but they're great and they're low cost. So, replacing like for like with that. And a couple of different things I've been trying to get together. We're talking about prices. I got a fun camera hack video in the works right now. I'm getting all the pieces for that. And another A/B comparison, because I love like value stuff, Jill. I don't, I'm not the biggest fan of what you would call vintage hardware now, am I?
Yeah, you have some too, like me.
Not the biggest fan.
Although all your vintage hardware, you like to use it and show it off and show that it works on Linux.
This is the difference. Not necessarily with me. It's something that what I'm a fan of is older hardware that you can still do stuff with.
Yeah, that's productive.
And that's like one of the things I'm going to be showing off is the difference between, and I decided I'm going to use the Focusrite, the little red interface that everybody buys.
Oh, yeah.
How does it stack up against a Focusrite from 16 years ago? Performance-wise, numbers-wise, like, what is the EIN number? I mean, what's capture sample rate, noise level, microphone preamps, like for like, and we're going to run it down using Focusrite's own metrics and measurements.
Oh, that'll be nice. Yeah.
And I think you're going to be surprised. That's all I'm going to say. That's
cool.
All I'm going to say.
That'll be a great video. I'm looking forward to that.
I'm just sitting back and I'm waiting to yoink the particular audio interface from that era because we're slowly, we've come out of the pandemic and people have realized like, wait a minute, I'm not going to get 3 times the price for my 20-year-old audio interface. Nay, you're not. So I'm patient. I can wait it out and they're finally ticking back down. And of course, I got that camera video I'm working on too. But we need to get into it. Vanilla OS.
Yeah.
Do you like vanilla?
I love vanilla. I like vanilla more than chocolate, then.
What if I gave you a handful of chocolate beans or vanilla beans? Which one would you chew on?
Vanilla. Absolutely. Yeah. Vanilla, absolutely.
I tell you to get away from me with your handfuls of beans.
Oh.
Like,
No, I like vanilla jelly beans too.
Like, I like cinnamon sticks. I like the idea of cinnamon sticks. I've nibbled on a cinnamon stick. I'm like a real cinnamon stick. I'm not talking about like whatever candy version of cinnamon sticks are. I'm like, yeah, it's pretty cool. And like dip it in some tea. I'm like, all right, I get it.
Okay. That works, Ben. Yeah, so there is a new Ubuntu-based distro being developed, and it isn't your typical Ubuntu. Yes, it's called Vanilla OS. And on the Vanilla OS GitHub page, it states, taste the GNOME vanilla experience on Ubuntu with some spicy. Ooh. And yeah, this distro does have some spice.
Ubuntu-based distro.
But this one does have spice. So not only does it have a stock GNOME experience, but it is an on-demand, immutable distribution. Yeah, the system is read-only to prevent unwanted changes and corruption from third-party applications or faulty
That's something you can switch on and off, right?
Yes, correct. And some paths are, of course, still writable, such as your home directory, of course. And it's really awesome. It's called Vanilla because it's stock GNOME and it's immutable. And another cool thing about it is it allows you to choose and enable Flatpak, snaps, or app images with its first time setup after installation. And that's pretty cool. I haven't seen any other distro do that yet. So it's really wonderful. And there's even a new package manager called APX, which allows you to install packages inside a managed container by default. Pretty sweet. And unfortunately, the ISO is not publicly available yet. It will be sometime soon. But right now you can download the ISO by joining its Discord channel for now, which is linked in the show notes.
Pretty interesting. Yeah, Vanilla OS is what I call a YAO, yet another Ubuntu.
Yes. This one is special.
It is, being able to make sure like all of the desktop containerization options, like that screen. Let's see, can I scroll back up to that screen? Let's take a look at it. Where's that? It's like a nice little checkbox you see there. Package managers, like choose one or more packet. It makes it easy to disable all of them.
Yes.
Out of the box. Make sure. That's one of the things I enjoy about Debian, because it doesn't have any of them to begin with. Yeah, that's a good thing. Then again, it does have its own APX, which is its own package manager, right?
Yes. Pretty sweet.
I love seeing a new package manager. That's always good. However, it's like its own APX itself is its own containerization thing on top of everything else.
Yeah, and that's what's unique about this package manager. This is good for deploying in for businesses and server side. And I think this OS has lots of uses. Yeah, yeah.
And Flatpaks.
Yes.
I'm kidding. It's always good. You call it fragmentation, I call it options. That's how I look at all of this. The on-demand immutability. English, old man. Grandpa Cassie.
I said it wrong. Immutability.
It's contagious, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
It does sound neat. Like, if you can come up with a use case for it, like, I'd be curious. Yeah. Write in. Let me know. I mean, like, if you're going to be setting like a kiosk mode or something like that, maybe.
Yeah.
And you don't want to mess around with it. Or, you can set it up on your friend's laptop and don't tell them about it and change it every now and then, just listen to it.
Yes.
Be like, hey, how you doing?
You could change it from using snaps to Flatpaks, or just let them use app images, which is my preferred way of containerization.
I think app images are try before you buy with me.
It is. It's kind of how we demo our like the latest version of Kden Live, for instance.
You just want to see, like, hey, let's see what this is going on. Let's see what this is about, because I don't want to install
the binary
like Flatpak or Snap or anything like that. I don't even need that system in place, because again, I'm not even on the fence. I'm on the other side of the fence. I'm like, explain to me again how containerization of the desktop makes, like, show me where that's a problem that needs fixing. And again, I'm old, cantankerous, and stuck in my ways. That's fine.
Yeah, I like my .debs.
So you also like ginormous pink laptops.
Yes, I sure do. So we're going to talk about M Control Center. It's a free and open source Linux application that allows you to change the settings of MSI laptops, including a battery mode to adjust between 4 levels of performance and battery life, starting from high performance to lowering the power consumption for basic needs. You can also change other settings, such as the keyboard backlight mode. You could adjust it to turn on and off at a certain time. And it has a USB power share mode and turning on and off of the webcam. It also has, which is another cool thing, has a CPU and GPU temperature display and shows you fan speeds as well. And OMG, I was so happy when Ven put this in the show notes. This awesome software is coming in handy for me with my MSI Prestige 14-inch Ultra HD pink laptop. It's actually a fairly new laptop. I got it over the pandemic. It's a 10th gen Core i7 with 16 gigabytes of RAM and has both an onboard Intel iGPU and a discrete NVIDIA GeForce GTX 1650 Max-Q GPU that I switch between with Prime Run. And the battery, unfortunately...
We were talking about that. Like, having Prime on a laptop is a blessing and a curse.
It is. But thank gosh for Optimus software running on Linux now. And some distros do it very well, like Arch Linux, which I have I have Arch on this machine right now, and Fedora does nice with it, and Ubuntu will play nice with it with some work. But the battery management in Linux on this laptop is not that great, and the M Control Center addresses and fixes a lot of the issues. So
it's got a couple of options in it, which is
it sure does.
Pretty nice to have, between your high performance, your balanced, your silence, and of course the thing they like to call super battery, which, that's just going to lower all of your, I guess maybe doing some testing. The reason I ran across this application is because earlier this week, a friend was like, hey, I got an MSI laptop. My battery is always dying. How do I control everything? So what did I do? I went to Google and I typed in MSI Linux laptop, and this came up. And I'm like, have we talked about this before? And I did a search on the site. I'm like, no, we haven't.
No.
So, Now, I do want to point out that this app only has been confirmed to work, I should say. That's the right way of saying it.
On certain MSI laptops.
7
MSI
laptops. There's a couple of variations. And what I do want to point out is a couple of things have changed this is version 3.0, which is 5 days ago. A couple optimizations, saving and restoring your settings. So you kind of got profiles, application icons now in the system tray. And you can set your battery charge limit from 30 to 100%, which is neat. But yeah, go check out, Jill, you have a, what type of MSI, what model was that?
The MSI Prestige, the Optimus version.
Okay.
MSI Prestige 14-inch. And it was the number. There's a couple of different numbers in this series. And
MSI, they have one Prestige on here with the 14 Evo, but immediately after the show, Jill is going to tell them that she can confirm. And some things don't work, though, like
the webcam.
Versions. US Power Share is not available on that Prestige. Well, this Prestige model. Webcam, function super keyboard. What is anything? Oh, yeah. The Summit E16 gets all green, and
that's nice.
Just the E16. That's better than nothing, right?
Yeah. Well, the other thing about this that's so nice is on Windows, you have full control with their MSI Dragon, software center. And it's so nice that we have people in the community, developing one for Linux. There's another one called MSI Dragon for Linux, but it doesn't seem to be very active. But this one is the most fleshed out and, has all the awesome utilities that I've been wanting because, the battery dies so quickly on this with Linux. And so I'm really looking forward to testing the software long term to see how much battery life I actually do save. So
keep it.
I'm pretty happy.
In. Right.
Yes.
That's good to have. Something I wrapped up, I think the day after the show, last week's episode is in interfacing Linux. I like to find out what audio stuff does and does not work under Linux and have a very factual, no nonsense, no flair, no buzz thing like, hey, this thing does work. Here's how you get it up and running. And, that's the end of our conversation, our relationship. It's not like, so I'm going to tell you about this, but first let me tell you about what I had for breakfast. I'm like, no, I just want to know. Why is your video 25 minutes long? Like, let's see if we can get it down to about 10. Very excited. This is the cool thing I've been playing around with. This is a Tascam US 1608. And Tascam, they've been in the business making recording gear for 50 plus years. They know what to do. Now, most of their stuff is professional, like professional recorders. That normally what you would think about Tascam is like portable recording devices, but they've been making interfaces for quite a while. And, this is more of a prosumer device, but it's priced like a consumer device. And 16 physical inputs, which is insane. Normally on an audio recording interface, you might have, 2, 4, 6, 8. 8's usually where it tops out. You can hook in a light pipe and, 8 expansion and get 8 more. No, this thing's got like 16 inputs. It's got hardware MIDI on the back. And yes, it's USB. It's not FireWire, so you don't have to worry about that. What got my attention is this guy has support baked into the Linux kernel. Like, it's there. Why? Because you could run this. It's got a built-in DSP. It's got brains, Jill. It's got intelligence. You can set routing. It's got equalizers built in. It's got compression built in, stereo pair matching, panning. Everything that you would normally have on a mixer is all done digitally. And it's portable, too. You can set this up, program it, unplug it, and cut it on. It's going to operate just the same. That really impressed me. So I walk you through how to get this set up, how to get it plugged in, and how to play around with it. And, you know, of course, we go over the round trip latency and all the other fun things, which I'm happy to report. This guy is the fastest USB interface I have.
Nice.
Which I think is pretty nice. And of course, you know, I go through the thing. I'm like, hey, oh, by the way, if you're going to take this thing apart, Tascam, this is the most over-engineered piece of equipment I've ever disassembled in recent memory.
Oh, this is the one with lots of screws.
Yeah, this is like 24 screws to get the lid off that. Just to get to that point, what we're seeing on the videos, just to slide the lid off. Like I had to start organizing them. Typically, to give you an idea, if you take stuff apart, you know, you're taking apart like a rack-mounted interface, 4, maybe 6 screws, 20 plus screws. Got it apart because I wanted to take a look on the inside, just make sure there weren't any bad caps. This is the reason. I think this came out in like 2014-ish, and I mean, it's still made today. There's the DSP module right there, that little daughter board sitting on top. That's got all the, who made that? Zoom and enhance. I didn't do that. Analog devices. So Blackfin.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, everything's good. It's completely workable, completely serviceable. But getting that lid back on, I'm not exaggerating, took me over 3 hours.
Well, I guess they made it to withstand you being able to stack about 50 of these on top of each other. If they weren't in a rack, you could stack them.
It's a solid steel case.
Yeah. Like the old Sun computers.
To help everyone out, if you're ever sliding that case back on, sliding and you're fine. You're like, it's stuck on something. It was stuck on something to where I had to take it out. I like took it out and put it onto the kitchen table and brought in extra lighting.
Yeah.
To like, what is going on? And I'm sitting there all alone, like dink, 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 flipping it. Like, this was frustrating. I mean, you know, of course you don't want to like do that because you'll break something. It's a good thing I didn't. It's all of the 1/4-inch jacks in the back have to be perfectly aligned. At different points of pushing it in.
Oh, wow.
It's not straightforward. Like after I got it in, I'm like, oh, it was one of those. Have you ever had that happen? You get done and you finally get it and you're like, really? That was it?
Yes. Really? It's like taking apart and putting together laptops, which I've done quite a bit.
And, you know, the frustrating thing is, you know, even during that process of putting it back together, I'm like, I have this on tape, kids. I came back like, let's roll the back of the tape as I'm taking this thing apart. And I'm like, no, I'm not missing anything. But it was all those jacks that you had to push at the top and align some, then at the bottom, and then realign the other because it's kind of sitting on a board that was real flexible. And that was it. And I got it back together. Then I took it apart again just to make sure, because what I found when I was scrubbing through that video, Jill, was a ribbon cable that wasn't plugged in all the way.
Oh, no.
So after I got everything plugged in, packaged up, put it back in the box, went into the storage room, slid it on the shelf next to the other audio interfaces, went and chilled out, did something that afternoon. I'm like, all right, let's go back over this footage. And I saw it. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me.
Oh, no. You gotta open it do it all over again.
No. A sane person would have been, oh, well, it still works. Not me. I didn't last. I lasted maybe 45 minutes. I'm like, I'm just not going to mess with it.
Gotta fix it.
Like, yeah.
Oh.
There I was, taking those screws back out again. That's how I had an exact count of them. So, yeah, if you're looking to get it, Tascam, all this is on the website. The ELSA mixer, again, all of this stuff's built into the kernel, too. There's 280. This is why it has a mixer. Now, you can access it through the ELSA mixer, but you have 280 options scrolling to the right.
Yeah. I was noticing that, Ven, on the video, how much you had to scroll through all the audio holes in ELSA mixer. And I'm like, it just never ends.
And of course, if you want to use it as a sound card, it works under Pulse Audio, which means it's going to work under Pipewire. And there's the mixer with all the individual elements. Setting it up is real easy. I want to thank Arthurian. Actually, you know what? Blame Arthurian if the arch directions don't work. 100% on him. Yeah, you set up the GitHub, compile it. Compiling's not scary, kids. Don't worry about it. And of course, round trip latency, testing setup, and, you know, pros and cons. I really liked it. for the price, because you can get these for, like new about $350. So if you're in the market and you're looking for a particular piece of kit and that fits all of that, because this thing's very basic. It's just a big block of metal designed to record 16 inputs, and it's got that DSP built in. What I'd really love to have had, no, I say this in the video, is that if it had had a noise gate or downward expander on it.
Okay.
Because it's already got the EQ, you already got the compression, and everyone's looking for that device that they can just plug in and have your EQ compression. But if you also had the noise gate built in, it'd be great for streaming.
Yeah.
You wouldn't need anything additional.
An extra piece of hardware. Yeah.
The infuriating thing is I have a device that does exactly that, brand new in box, and I've had it for months. It just doesn't work with Linux yet.
Okay.
But we're working on it on the ELSA kernel mailing list, so stay tuned. Speaking of Linux Gamecast, that's a great place that you can go to help support us. We got a support button, Patreon, merch, PayPal, wish list, and all the other fun stuff. What do I have? Speaking of merch, Frank's back. Frank's back in the store, kids. Store.linuxgamecast.com.
Yay!
For just in time for October. Yep.
No.
Frank is here. Available in the Frank 1999 series. I redid this week. He's available in pretty much everything: poster, classic pullover, hoodies, premium pullovers. And one thing that I really like, is it on this page? It might be on the next page. There's also an option for like the zip up, which is really good.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, a zip up hoodie.
It's going to load eventually.
Nice.
And there you go. You can get your Frank file on. Nice little hoodie. And I've updated our back logo. I don't know if the people at home can read that.
Yeah.
It's got linuxgamecast.com. So go check that out. Available in sizes up to 2XL with, of course, we got our Hell Elks and our chairs and our stickers. But yeah, all this stuff is reasonably priced too, because, hey, if you're going to like advertise for us, I'm not going to try to rip you off, and everything's good quality. Now, speaking of things that might be of questionable quality, Jill's got a wish list.
Rainbow penguin plushies.
Oh man, it is.
I added a few new things in there. I have a keyboard, a stand to show off some of my cool keyboards in my collection.
Of blinking vomit creatures.
And lots of RGB plush penguins. Yes.
Oh man.
Penguins that I don't have in my huge collection behind me.
Well, you know what? Like, hopefully none of those require that new 12-volt high power connector to charge.
Oh, yeah, no.
Right?
Yeah.
That's been a mess with but yeah, if you pick up anything from our wish list, you get to send in a little note and we'll read it usually. Like, try to keep it like NC 17 or below. I have one for the studio. It's do I have anything that blinks on the one for the studio? You know that technically is going to have a hard drive LED.
Yeah.
It would blink. Oh, that dumb thing. I'm not. All right. See, I love you guys and girls. I'm eventually going to pick that Go XLR thing up and immediately give it away. But somebody's reverse engineering it, and that's why I'm kind of interested in it. That's that. See, this is how you know you're getting old. Because it used to be the Focusrite was the YouTuber special. That's what everyone was using. Yeah. This is the new thing, the Go XLR. It's kind of like the Twitch, the live streamer special, because it's got a bleep button built into it.
Even Linus, the squeaky one, has one. Linus,
I don't think you're squeaky, Linus.
Oh,
don't listen to
Linus.
Her.
Not Linus Torvalds. Linus Sebastian, who I love, and I love his videos. Linus Tech Tips.
Ooh, I don't know. People might get spicy about that. I don't like, man, listen, somebody talking about tech, like, how can you just like have a parasocial relationship and dislike a person, right? Like, I don't know this person.
No, but he has good content.
Oh man. Also, become a patron, patreon.com/LinuxGamecast. We got a bunch of crazy tiers with bonus rewards, among other things, up to and including access to our super secret Discord that we hang out in. It was fun. We had a couple of new people this week that popped in, which is always fun. You're like, hello?
Yes.
And everybody's like, what's going on? We got about 80, 90 people hanging out in there, chilling out, and it's fun.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, wait, this is where you guys hang out? I was like, yeah, we're just in there hanging out. Who do we have? 2 new patrons, right?
Yeah. So we have Jalad, named after the famous Star Trek episode called Darmok. So Darmok and Jalad at Tanagra.
with shoes
Shaka
off.
when the walls fell. That was the second episode of the fifth season, episode number 102. How do I know these things of Next Gen?
Crippling depression. I don't know.
Oh boy.
Biatko? Yeah.
Yeah, Biatko, a new patron. Yeah. I haven't seen him or her in our Discord yet. But,
And of course, Tree Sloth popped in. Twitch subscriber. Twitch, because we're doing the Trackmania things. And listen, that's a completely valid cause. We have a dedicated room just for the Trackmania stuff. I was like, psst, yo.
Yeah. And he's a long-time listener of the show and wanted to come in and play Trackmania with us. So cool. So he joined us yesterday, and that was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I like it when people like do it seamlessly. I'm always surprised because so many times, I'm like, all right, how do I get into Discord? I'm like, yeah, you do a Twitch sub or, which is like crazy cheap. This is a very bad plan to try to get rich kids. It's because it's not. It's just to keep the like crazy. How chill is our Discord? We don't have to deal with like trolls or anything.
No, we have wonderful people in there. Occasionally we get a troll, but it's not from our Discord, it's from Twitch.
It'll be like with our live chat, right?
Yeah,
it's
our
never
live chat.
Like everybody's just like chill. Why? Because like even if it's like 1 cent, that gets rid of like 99% of those people who are just like the trolls are lazy.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
No, we don't have any of that. And we have Windows users. It's not Linux exclusive. We got our Windows buddies in there. And it's great. Everybody gets along. It's copacetic. But no, when you tell people like when you do the Discord Twitch integration, I always expect like I'm going to be at this for like the next 2 or 3 days. Or like, how do I do this? And that's not Tree Sloth. Tree Sloth's like, got it, done, boom, popped right in. I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I like to see.
Yes.
Now, something else I'd like to see, Jill. You know what that is?
Ben?
Raspberry Pi 4 8 gigs on shelves available to buy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I haven't seen that for years. Well, okay. Without a $200 price tag. Yeah.
That's something that's few and far between at the moment.
We looked that up on Saturday on Amazon. Like, yes, $190, $200 for an 8 gig Raspberry Pi 4. And why are we on Amazon? Because they're out of stock everywhere else.
Yeah.
Which brings me to our next little bit of story. The Odroid H3 Plus.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Okay. Looks neat. It's Pi-sized, right? It's pretty decent. Yeah. It's a quad-core Jasper Lake x86 processor. Not the fastest thing in the world, but it's faster than Raspberry 4. x86, 2.5 gigabit Ethernet. Not one, but 2 of those. NVMe and SATA support. HDMI and DisplayPort out.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't come with any memory, but it uses SODIMMs DDR4, which that's like, okay, that's pretty neat. You slap a little case on it. That'd be great. Now, why I'm interested in, let me tell you why I'm in. Oh, look, it's even got little sound holes on the back.
Yes, it sure does.
And it's got SPDIF optical out on top
I know.
of this,
I was
right?
impressed, Ben. Not just 3.5, but SPDIF, and you can do audio out with DisplayPort and HDMI. So you have 4 ways to get audio out.
And look at this. It's got a nice little NVMe in the bottom. And, okay. It's $165.
Yeah.
That's where it gets interesting, because this is what happens when something's out of stock. Like this is just an amazing deal, and it's in stock, and I'm totally going to buy one probably like next month to get around to playing around with it. I mean, it just uses the standard. It's got USB 3, USB 2, of course, power switch. You can get active cooling. By the way, this thing is a monster emulation system.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was watching that video. I was pretty impressed.
And I added this up. Even if you slap like 8 gigs of RAM on this thing at $165, you're still under the price of a $200 Raspberry Pi 4 8 gig. And this thing will run circles around it. And it's x86, so you're not dealing with because when you're looking at like single board computers, you're thinking, if you're like me, you've been looking for something that was in stock, right? ARM, something with 8 gigs preferably. And you might look like Orange Pi or some other places like that. And you're always like, well, how? Because everybody pretty much has to maintain their own little distribution for maximum compatibility.
Yeah, yeah.
And this, you can just sling
anything on it.
Yeah, and
that's it, x86.
Right,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm just, they got some pretty neat cases. Cases are like $10 for this guy too.
Yeah.
RAM.
And the power supply is just an additional $9.40. So that's inexpensive enough. And I'm really glad they're including a really beefy heat sink to cool the SoC, because the x86 processors do run hot.
It looks like a power supply, doesn't it?
I know it does. Yeah.
A little miniature, and that's the case too. It's like $10 for the case too. I mean, you kidding me?
It does. It's like you could, you know what? You could hide it in a computer. You could put it next to your real power supply in the computer. Oh my God.
I'd be down with that.
Yeah. Yeah, you could have two. You could have this little SoC in your computer. Your main system.
I don't have an excuse in me. I'm always looking for an excuse not to spend money. And I don't like this thing's just smack me down every time I try to come up with. It's like, no, this is perfect. Here's what I've been wanting. You've heard me say this before. Is below my feet, down here, to power these two devices plus the Discord when we bring in guests. There's 3 more PCs, and they're low-end business PCs. They're like Dell 3010s and an HP whatever sort by lowest. Mm-hmm. And they're i7s, ancient i7s, 8 gigs of RAM. I want something small because that's a lot of force. I got 3 of these guys, and I'd like to add more. But the problem is that's a whole new PC. Get it wired in with a keyboard, mouse, and all that with the monitors. I want like a row of these guys, like just zip tied to the back of the desk under there.
Yeah, there you go.
Right?
Yeah.
And just and they'd be way more powerful. So
yeah.
$65. I think I'm going to drop like $200 and buy. I'm not going to like try to kit one out or anything. It'll be a fun video. Maybe next month, maybe in the December, I'll put on an ugly Christmas sweaters like Old Man versus SBC.
Yeah. Yeah, I was impressed with how many ports this has. I mean, this has more ports than any other SoC I've seen.
At that price, too, because you see something like this. If we got down to the...
Yeah, the real expensive ones, like $500, $600. We looked at like the bill of material,
we looked at that, and we got down to the price, and it was like $495. And like, yeah, it figures, right? And like, we've seen things like this. What the shocker is, like,
the price.
$200. I'm like,
yeah.
Well, okay. And it's not like we have a option B with a Raspberry Pi right now, because those are over $200 just to get a bare board.
Yeah.
I want one. That's all I got to say.
Hardware shortages.
I don't know, man. Like, Raspberry Pi Foundation, they've come out and they said, I'm not slagging off on them, but they're like, hey, we got to take care of our industrial business partners first. And I'm like, organization, right? Got it. People companies first. Yeah. Maybe free up some of that supply. Maybe the Raspberry Pi 5 will be another exciting thing.
Yes.
So we're running long. We got to bounce out of here. Did we get any famous last words?
Go out there and make some penguins happy.
Have some credits.
Do all the Linux things.
Multiple Linux things.
Yeah, multiple Linux things.
Install 7 Linux.
Yes.
And go on Twitter and post
Install Vanilla OS. And thank you to our advisors, Omegas and Artherin.
Executive producers, Warrant, Scott, Atomic, and Mike, Empty, Drummer 7, Koaku, Pebble, and I missed the last one. Abstraction Super Death Stoat for Chicago, bringing it in, along with our sea monsters.
Truggy, Mark, DSNG Joe.
Plenty of death notes. I even got Jalad.
Yeah. Jalad's in there.
Good luck.
Okay.
Get a magnifying glass.
Yes, I can't read that.
All of a beautiful trailer. Episode 350.
Aw, we have my brother in the house in chat. And
Jill is fascinated by people in houses. I don't understand it, but I say if it makes you happy,
yes,
go for it. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next week.
Good night, all. Love you. Aw. I like that mirror. Aw, cute little girl. Yay.
Pre-show is
Thank
done.
You, Steve Husband.
We have completed a thing.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, Steve Husband, my brother's been in chat today. Awesome. He's like you. He's working so many hours. Sometimes he can't even make it to in the chat for the show.
I would like to thank everybody who supports us in each and every way, because I just got an advertising thing yesterday. Dude, they were like, yo, why don't you let us sell some sketchy stuff on your podcast?
Oh boy.
I told him to go play in traffic. Okay, come on, Gerbil. Don't die.
Uh-oh. So at least did I see any hiccups with your gerbil?
No, I didn't.
No, it did good during the show.
I can play around it. Not my first rodeo.
Yeah.
Let's get that saved, and everything else is put together. Jelly Bro.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Do you think there's a actual candy called Jelly Bro?
I don't know. There's jelly babies named after Doctor Who candies. They're from England.
Oh, man. Unfortunately, I don't think you would want to try to eat these. However, you can get Jelly Bro handmade silk artificial white roses for your bridesmaid's wedding boutique.
Oh, how funny. So
is your Jelly Bro.
Artificial.
Apparently, they also make, come on, give me some candy.
Yeah. Here, let me look.
We have Jelly Bro men's padded football protective gear.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a brand. Okay, never heard of that one.
Steve, how close is the water tower to flying? Isn't it? I got so excited about that thing initially because they were doing all the initial tests with it, and then they just parked it. Like, that thing hurts my brain when it's in the air.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I found someone named Jelly Bro on Instagram.
Mm.
Let's see.
And thank you for the raid, Kelvin Shadvig.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Awesome. Yeah, Jelly Bro. I'm looking at the store on Amazon. There's lots of good things here. There's backpacks.
Not as cool as my recent Amazon shopping trip where I bought, like, power cables and stuff.
Yeah.
That business again's depressing. I'm like, man, there's never anything. Booster 7 and ship 24 stacked. First orbital test
they
in a
have
couple of
some.
months. All right.
They make a kawaii backpack that's transparent. That's nice.
A kawaii backpack?
Yeah.
What's that?
A cute backpack that's Japanese style. It's got a clear back on it, so you can display pins and buttons and that kind of thing, or your little dolls or characters.
Put your Chucky doll on it.
Yeah. Now they have wigs. Wow.
Yeah, that was
Rainbow wig. Ooh, I like that one.
I'm going to end up on like some type of search list when I was shopping for Frank's new hair. Well, it's not new anymore, but when you're having to do a search for like children's wigs, I'm like, yeah.
I just added. They have rainbow wigs. I just added that to my cart. Actually, my wish list.
I don't carry anything with me when I fly, except for a carry-on. That's it, and usually that. If I don't even, I'll have like a tablet in my hand or something like that.
Yeah, Jelly Bro has lots of nice backpacks. Wow. It's.
Let me get that in. Ah, yeah, the
Chucky Norris. Whoops.
You're in the after show.
Yeah, I accidentally clicked it on Discord. I'm like, what's that sound? Ah.
Has anything happened while we were doing a show?
Do, 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 do.
So they're replacing The Witcher.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Also, there's an Avatar trailer.
Oh, yeah.
Ferngully too. Yeah, Henry Cavill, formerly known as Superman, as I think he's going back to play Superman. So, what's his name? Chris Hemsworth, Thor.
Okay.
His little brother is going to take over the role in Witcher. To which I'll go, well, I'll quit watching The Witcher. Because Netflix, in their infinite wisdom, is just going to do a switcheroo. They're like, no, they're not going to change it. Now, if they did, Netflix was like, hey, here's the adventures of another Witcher, because there's tons of Witchers in this universe. Well, not tons, but there's like different camps of Witchers. Yeah, and I'm like, hey, let's go follow those adventures. It's like, nope, we're just going to swap out Henry Cavill with this other guy. I'm like, okay, have fun with that. Yeah, Fern Harder. Like, you know what? Like, on a technical beat, like, that was an interesting movie to watch in theaters, the original Avatar. But I don't see, like, how that is not Ferngully, story-wise.
Yeah, I was hearing the hubbub online, but I didn't read to see what was actually going on with that. So that's pretty big news. The actor's leaving.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad they toned down with the 3D stuff, because I can't see 3D. It doesn't work even with like the polarized LCD glasses or like the cheap glasses. It's apparently not very rare either. I'm not alone, is what I'm saying, is way my eyes pick up information that they can't easily be tricked into getting the 3D effect. So I just like see the two different colors all the time. So it's annoying, but it was very annoying when all films were in 3D. Remember that phase? Like everything was in 3D. Like to find one that wasn't in 3D, and you found the one that wasn't being showed in 3D, it was like an old crappy theater too.
I know, yeah. I hated that because the 3D stuff doesn't work with me. So I wanted to go to the, 2D film. And yeah, they were usually in little like shadier neighborhoods.
Well, even in the same theater, they would put it in like the small one.
The worst one with the bad speakers. Yeah.
Like the 3D thing was it got to the point, there was probably a solid 3 to 5 year period where you could not purchase a TV that didn't have 3D built into it.
Yeah.
Like they tried to push that so hard. Fortunately, everyone's like, this is dumb. I'm like, okay, so that won out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's just like the way your eyes combine images and all that, and like whatever, like, like visualization.
Yeah.
Like some people do that. I never thought anything weird about it. Like when I'm working on projects, I always have like the 3D exploded parts diagram, especially like when I'm working on the studio and attempting to sleep. You take that and you blow it apart and you run all the wiring, and you can see around the model in your mind palace or whatever it is. Like I can visualize 3D and all that fun stuff fine, but I just can't like get it through my eye
Yeah, I
holes.
get it. Yeah.
It's like that looks like this color. The colors are wrong.
Yeah.
That's my 3D experience, and I've tried all available technology.
Yeah.
Just out of curiosity.
Yeah, how I do it is, because I've been an athlete and an artist, that has really, helped me visually just seeing out of one eye. because I see the lights and shadows, and working with computer graphics and animation has really helped with that. So as long as I have the color cues, I'm fine because I'm really good with color. But
it's like the only thing that's going to trip you up is depth perception.
Yeah, but I have no depth, so the 3D stuff is just horrible. It's I usually, when I go, like even to Disneyland and we go on Star Tours, I take the glasses off and just squint, just squint and try and see one of the images that I see 20 times, but but I can still enjoy it. So kind of.
Well, I mean, it's like just viewing anything with one eye. You don't realize how much your brain will compensate a lot for like depth perception. Visual cues like by size, like where you play with games and stuff like that. But
yeah,
have somebody throw a ball at you and close one eye and catch it. It takes a minute before you can sink that back in.
Yeah. So yeah, that was playing volleyball. I do have an eye patch, which actually really helped, but I didn't use it most of the time because it kind of freaks people out. So you
gotta hang around better people.
Yeah, it's just natural. People
you gotta
stare.
Go to more pirate conventions, Jill. More pirate conventions. You need to play more volleyball with the pirates.
And well, what's cool is a couple of the players that I've played with. They were like, "Oh, you must be half blind because I keep my left eye squinted because I see light out of it and it confuses my head having the light there." So
they walk over and they get Jill and they turn her back around.
Yeah. So, and one thing I use a lot is my hearing because I don't see the ball when it goes to the other side of court. So I listen to where it is, and people are just amazed by that. I can just. I don't even have to look. I'm just listening to where the ball is on the other side of the court.
So you don't get to complain if somebody like launches a ball at you and doesn't say anything and just blams you across the back of the head. You're like, I should have heard that.
I should have heard that. Sometimes I don't, and sometimes it hurts. Yes. But fortunately, the only good thing is I don't have any distance in my right, but I have, I can see about halfway decent, about 5 to 10 feet. And some days I have better vision. It's better than others. And so as long as I have that 5 foot gap between me and the ball, I'm okay. So, and it's a nice big ball. So
I've been like looking into their vanilla OS package manager. It is container. I think it's using Podman.
Yeah, Podman. That's what, yeah.
Like,
it's really cool.
Docker? I don't know. I'm going to, speaking of pirates and the ships, man, I'm going to go down on the ship of like, I don't see the point of containers on the desktop. I don't. Seems like a lot of extra work for no added benefit. Somebody's going to sell me one day, but it's going to be a long, long time.
Well, when the snaps and flat packs get even faster, that'll help a lot.
Yeah, maybe they'll catch up with what I'm currently using.
Yeah.
But I mean, they do need stuff like the flat pack containerization. Flat pack makes sense. I understand why Valve chose it for the Steam Deck because you're a consumer-facing product, right?
Yeah.
You want something that's easy to set up, something that you can roll out and deploy in just one chunk and by itself. But you've seen people trying to play it around with their Steam Decks. They're fighting with flat packs, like, I can't get those to work. But it makes sense on a Steam Deck. On a desktop, though. On a desktop. That's where you lose me. But what were we talking about? Was it on Saturday's show that we were talking about some containerization that had like the graphics drivers built in?
Well, Steam has Mesa with the Snap. Was that what you were thinking?
That might have been the Snap package. Yeah.
Yeah, we talked about it last Wednesday a little bit too.
The up-to-date. No, that's neat. See, stuff like that. You throw me some bonus things in there, and I'm like, okay, all right.
Being able to switch Mesa stacks, that's cool, That's brilliant. Stuff like that is really good. And I know people actually who use Steam, as a snap. It's, well, Popey and Wimpy were for a long time. Oh, boy.
And that's great. My biggest exposure to like flat packs has been with OBS. And
yeah.
people say, hey, how do I fix this? I'm like, I have no idea. Because I don't. I'm not being short. I'm not being curt with them. Like, I don't have an idea. I don't use that. And really, the only retort to that is like, well, couldn't you install a flat pack? I'm like, well, couldn't you install it the normal way?
Yeah, yeah. The only reason I have a lot of experience with it, the flat pack and snaps, is for reviewing on LWW and the podcasts I do. But I on my main machine here, I don't have flat packs or snaps enabled at all. Mostly I don't use them. So, but I do like to use them for testing and to compare speed, like the launching of Firefox. Okay. But they have improved that a lot on the Snap.
Snaps. I don't even think I have snaps available in Debian. I mean,
yeah, you have to install it manually.
I don't even know if I have if there's a snap package in apt. There might be. You know what? You got to keep everybody in tune. I think these batteries finally just died in this thing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I was checking my battery holders. You wonder why this old digital camera is sitting here?
Oh, is that okay? Extra batteries.
It's because it holds 2 dolly batteries, and it's easier to keep track of an old digital camera than it is 2 random batteries floating around
that are just sitting on the desk. Yeah, and they roll off, and yeah, I hate that. Aw, Steve husband. I was winking at you though. Do. Fujitsu. Yeah, I have an old Fujitsu digital camera too, and I think that was one that Ben had. The song always gets me because it has the classic modem sound. I love it. And here's the song we listen to all the time during the shows and on Trackmania. It's part of the music in the jukebox of our maps on Trackmania that Ben uses. 128. Yeah, megabyte card. I have, yeah, I hear you, Arthur. And I have some 64 ones I ran into the other day. I'm like, oh, yeah, that was in my old cameras. 64 meg. I found my 16, 32, and 64 meg flash drives as well recently. Ooh, that's sweet. Fujimi. Oh, okay. The batteries maybe got a little crispy. You have to use a little baking soda in there. I've done that rarely, fortunately, but I have done that. We all have forgotten batteries in our electronics before, and it's just a nightmare to clean up. I usually give it to Steve Husband because it's quick and easy for him, and he can see the parts easier. Whereas with me, I have to get out my magnifier and clean all the debris from the battery contacts and stuff. It's not as fun.
One. I just cut my fingernails off yesterday too, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's when you need to have that little wedge the day after.
There you go. I use a little mini flathead screwdriver for opening one of those little jewelers ones, like my Steve Husband uses. Those are what I use to open things. Those are great.
It's yeah, you got to be careful. I do the same thing, and I say, speak from experience, be careful when if you're trying to pry a battery out, because you can rip right into the coating with some of the smaller ones. Hey, look, that fixed everything. Now the mouse works again. Neat.
Yay! There you go, Ben. So how long was it in use with the older batteries?
Oh, this one's pretty hard on the batteries. You probably get about week and a half, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Oh, okay. It's the keyboard that lasts forever.
Keyboard lasts forever. Yeah, this thing is like, again, it's like 2.4 gigahertz wireless.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it sucks down some power.
You know what's so funny is because I have a lot of, I've been buying all the pretty, pink and rainbow keyboard and mouse, wireless mouse kits.
Mm-hmm.
And the mouse is always the one that dies first. Always. The keyboard will last usually about 6 months. But the mouse, within a week or two, you got to put in new batteries in them or charge them. It's just so annoying. You would think they should put as good a battery that's in the keyboard as in the mouse, but
well, it's just like the power. This, I had to double check. I thought the batteries were dying in this at one point. Mm-hmm. So I went and bought some AAA rechargeables. No, this has the original Duracell. So we're deep into year 2 on this thing.
Wow. Yeah.
Supposedly this is runs on average like 10 years.
10 years. That's amazing.
Or hang on, this one might have one of the. Okay, I take that back. I think it's the batteries in the number pad that last 10 years. Which I think those are just like button cell 2032s. I think this one's like 6 years or 4 years or something.
Oh yeah, Mir Logitech is really good about that. In fact, I just bought a purple and pink Logitech mouse recently that I got to hook up here.
Logitech mices are awesome. You speak about like learning how to replace micro switches because geez, Logitech can't make a micro switch to save their life, and it's just getting worse. That's what I was talking about, like Logitech when they talked about that cloud gaming thing they're going to release.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully somebody steps in and goes, "This is a horrible idea. Do not make these." Like I would be terrified if Logitech was responsible for sourcing any of the switches on that at all. If it's even going to have that, it's not just like dummy membrane stuff. Because Logitech switches reliably fail in the first 2 years.
So I am so gentle with my stuff. Usually my mice last 20, 30 years because I'm very gentle. Click.
It's just usability. I mean, with like a micro switch, it's not necessarily if you're being like polite to it, brutal.
Yeah, it's just the number
on and off. This is that little piece of copper that's going to be sitting inside. Because I pop open the switch itself and rebuild it, and like size it back up and get it back in if I can. It just wears down. It's mechanical. So
and Bodhi, nice. Clicks. Yeah, nice to have you in chat again. Nice, and Bodhi. It's been a while.
Yeah, I don't have a bag. I think I got a sleeve of switches from Mauser, but I don't live that life. Like this mouse, I went over earlier in the show. Like even getting to the switches, the way this thing's designed, pretty much got to destroy it. So just buy another one. Speaking of which, I need to see if I have Amazon stuff showing up. Just assume something for Amazon's going to be outside.
Yeah, I know. Same here. Fortunately, one of the reasons I have my in my computer room where I have my streaming setup is so that I can look out the window and then I can see whenever the carrier's coming with packages, and there's one out there right now.
Let's see. I want to get something coming. Where did I send this? Oh, this isn't going to the house. I need to go pick that up. All right. Well, I guess I'll go do that tomorrow.
Yeah, Steve Husband, if you don't get that soon, you'll have to contact them and see why they're taking so long.
From Jimmy Flintstone? You want to throw some context on that, Steve?
He needs to throw context.
Because I know the last time I ordered a box from Jimmy Flintstone. Oh, well, it will forever remain a mystery. Fine, you keep your secrets.
Aw. I love getting this stuff from AliExpress because I frequently, I buy things that are cheap. They're like, $1 to $10 on AliExpress all the time. And just
wait,
it's a fun surprise.
Presents.
Yeah, you get presents. So that's what I do. That's where I get a lot of my keyboards and stuff because I get them for $10 to $20.
I have my senior moments, especially when I'm ordering like office supplies, or especially like for stuff in this room, like power cables and just the replaceable stuff I got to go through that's boring. And it's like, hey, I just ordered all this, and have those moments of I genuinely have no idea what's in this box, huh? And it's never fun.
I've had that, yeah. Yeah, this is his. He put the link in the show. Steve's new model from the banana splits.
Again, Steve. There we go. Okay, I was about to say, well, I have to click a link, man. Come on. I still don't know what it is.
It's a show from the 60s and 70s. It was what we grew up with as kids. The banana splits.
Fair enough.
It has a fun song too. Do, 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 do.
Let me get all this stuff closed out. Gotta go make some things. I gotta get on eBay. I gotta go spend money. Yay. It's a car. You're getting a couple of things? Alright. Get that together. I need to get back into the YouTube. I wonder if they fixed the Odyssey page. I was trying to create a playlist on Odyssey. Yeah.
Okay.
That was like arrowing out, and then like it hadn't synced our latest Linux Gamecast. I don't know.
Odyssey, it's so ugh. They recently did a lot of changes, and it's messed a lot of us content creators up. Or channels.
Just hanging around in their GitHub for their front end. They're working on some stuff. But then again, you get what you pay for, right?
Yeah.
Like, why don't you just use library instead?
Yeah, library. It's been so, it'd been so stable for a long time, and then all of a sudden they're doing upgrades, so it's breaking links and everything.
I haven't run into any breaking links. Most of this is the front end API stuff that they're working on. You can follow the issues on their GitHub tracker if you want to keep track of. But I think they figured out what the problem is.
Oh, that's good.
But like, I never use Odyssey or whatever I call it Odyssey because it irritates people. Deal with it.
Yeah.
But I got our YouTube stuff synced there. I think we got like 300 people that have subscribed to that channel.
Yeah. There's quite a few Linux users on there too, and yeah, it's good for us to have an active Odyssey channel.
How many people? 431. I take that back. All right. So yeah, if you want like all of our videos like to load really slow and to be in lower quality, go for it.
But not controlled by the Google overlords.
No, it's controlled by smaller overlords.
Yeah.
Then what is the other thing? PeerTube.
Oh yeah. Wait, yeah, that is such a neat platform. It's awesome, but it just got so full of things that we shouldn't show. So
Well, it all comes down to like
the porn industry and stuff.
Man.
And yeah.
Like the problem with anything, if you don't have a centralized hub, like anytime you do decentralized,
yeah.
Like it's a great idea, but like no one's cracked the discovery problem.
Yes, and that's always an issue. There's a couple good apps that interface it really well with the search that are like YouTube, but they never took off. So.
Well, even then, like a bunch of extra steps, right? Like that should be built in. Like even on Mastodon, like you can, effectively like email somebody who's on a different instance, but you're not really hanging out like you would on like a Twitter or an Instagram or someplace like that.
Yeah.
Oh. Are you getting your multivitamin, Steve?
Oh, that's a cute picture Steve has been. Oh, nice, Justin. Thank you for joining us. Yeah, been a while since you could watch a whole show, huh? You usually pop in, but you do not always hear the whole show.
Yeah, it's just Flintstone multivitamins. Yeah, all right. All right, everyone. I need to go create content.
Okay.
And make things and podcast. Then I gotta go order things. And I'm cooking something too. I remembered that when I opened the door and stepped outside. I'm like, something's up. I'm like,
Uh-oh.
Oh, right. I started something cooking
Oh,
when we started the show.
is it in the stove? Is it in the oven or?
Yeah, it's on the stovetop. I'm reducing some stuff. I'm like, what is going on? Oh, right.
Oh.
It's a mini senior moment. It's like, yeah,
I know.
I completely zoned out. I was like, I did that. That's me.
Yeah, you got to be careful.
Your brain like logically rolls it back. No one has broken into your home and started preparing a meal while you were in here doing this. I'm like, probably not. But let's go double check. I'm like, okay, yeah. All right. Yeah. Make sure your fire alarms are, have fresh batteries, especially if you have a 4090.
Absolutely.
You know, you don't want your video card catching your house on fire.
Yeah.
Reduction to powder. Oh. Cool, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. I will be back. Jordan's going to be back tomorrow with Borderlands 3. I need to update that on the Twitch schedule at 7:30. I think Joe's going to be hanging out. Strider was playing last week. So I think there's room for one more. He'll post an event in our Discord if you want to play Borderlands 3 with him. Just add a reply for the launch instructions if that's your thing. And Friday, LinuxGamecast.com. Click on the Filthy Casuals button. Let's get all the information. Because we'll be back with a Trek Media Points match.
Trek Media.
Till then, and Saturday, Linux Gamecast Weekly. That show that we do. Yeah. Just head over to Twitch. Click the schedule button. Or if you don't, write it down. We do the same things at the same times each and every week for like a decade. That's why I have zero sympathy for I can never remember. Like, not my problem.
Yeah.
You'd get a little sympathy from me if we had different times, like every other month or every week.
But it's the same time. Yeah.
After 10 years, not my problem. All right. Good night, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Love you all. Do, 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 do.